That will be unnecessary for this one. Wow. Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, rapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and his separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books cerise of sorrow, sorrow from the lost Lenore, for that rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and the echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning, all my soul within me burning. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then where thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, and with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven. From the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord and lady perched above my chamber door. Perched above a busted palace just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Then with ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and sturdy decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art surely no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's plutonium shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though it answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely upon the pallid bust, spoke only that one word as if his soul, that one word he didst thou pour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness, broken by a reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store. Call from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast until his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled on cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to thinking, fancy unto fancy, linking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, no syllable expressing, this fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloated o'er, she shall press. Ah, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, as if perfumed by some unseen censer, sung by seraphims and footfalls tinkled upon the top. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by his angels he hath sent thee, respite and repent thee from thy memories of Lenore. Quoth, and kind nepent thee, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempest sent or tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me, truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, truly I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within that distant aid it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant angel whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest on the night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, still is sitting. And the pallid master palace just upon my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demons that is dreaming. And the lamplight all gleaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor. Shall be lifted nevermore.